Alrighty. Hello from the Aquarius group of Tessa Shaw, Kyle Hayes, Christian Hefner, Caden Kriegel, Paige Clark, and Tyler Van Loo. The title of our presentation is The Importance and Benefits of Nonverbal Training for International Trips, aka we believe that this training for Cornerstone International Trips would be beneficial. So, just to start off, I want to reference the two articles that we will be kind of talking about, and we pulled some quotes from. Article A is called Gaze Direction and Request Gesture in Social Interactions, and that is by Michigan eLibrary, and then following it is the link for it. Article B is called Nonverbal Behavior and the Vertical Dimensions of Social Relations, a meta-analysis by ProQuest, and then again followed by the link of that. So quickly, I just want to talk about what we mean when we say nonverbal communication. Number one is appearance. That means the clothes you're wearing, the way you present yourself, whether that be like in a business casual outfit or more like a relaxed situation, whatever you want to wear. Number two is gestures, and that consists of hand movements, noddings, things like that. Number three is eye contact. If it's respectful in a culture to look someone in the eye, or if it's not, that's pretty different in a bunch of other cultures. Number four is posture. That means so when you're sitting down, are you crossing your arms or your legs? The way you're sitting, are you sitting up straight or are you slouching? Some cultures find that very disrespectful. Number five is facial expressions. Obviously, are you smiling? Are you frowning? Are you looking confused? Are your eyes closed? Anything like that. That was Tessa, by the way.
All right, this is Tyler, and we pulled a quote from the article A to support our stance on this subject. So article A says, during social interactions, a person is able to communicate non-verbally intentions and attitudes via gestures. Manual gesture is a powerful form of nonverbal communication, and it allows individuals to communicate a variety of feelings and thoughts. However, other sources of nonverbal communication, such as facial expressions, may intercede in order to ensure successful communication during social interactions. The eyes dominate facial expressions, and eye contact is used as a signal to convey willingness to interact.
All right, this is Christian. So, nonverbal communication is important because it breaks barriers. For example, when it comes to reading someone's feelings and emotions, facial expressions are the best way to read how they feel. Then, when it comes to using the correct social cues, eye contact, handshakes, and head nods are great ways to let someone know you're invested in what they're saying. Training in nonverbal communication takes less time and effort than learning a whole new language and culture. Therefore, learning the correct social cues will assist us in our communicating.
This is a quote from Article B. This is Tyler again. We might measure with great precision a person's degree of postural lean, frequency of hand gestures, or vocal fundamental frequency, but we may not know what those cues signify. Or we might lump into the general categories of smile or touch different kinds of smiles and touches that have very different meanings. A more fine-grained, nonverbal measurement system that could distinguish between different possible meanings or functions would help us to understand descriptant associations to vertical dimension. However, such a system is not yet in existence and would be difficult to develop because the different meanings and functions may not be detectable in the morphology of the behavior alone, but only in relation to contextual factors and interstates that are hard to measure.
All right, this is Kyle, and I'm going to talk about my personal experience with nonverbal communications. So after our basketball team went to a missions trip in Taiwan, we realized how important it was to have strong social cues and nonverbal communication. So the biggest tip that I learned is not every social cue is universal. So going to that country, you should do some research on the specific country you're going to and the cues that they have in their non-verbal communications, because some countries have different ones than others. Like in Taiwan and in Asia, they do a lot of bowing, and respect is really big there. So you really want to focus on that. And also, there are so many times personally that we were faced with language barriers because no one speaks English there. So our basketball team used basketball as a tool to communicate with the people there, and it actually worked.
Okay, just to kind of give a picture to all the words we're saying, this is a graph based on the stance that we're making. As you can see in this graph, 55% of like success in a type of like presentation atmosphere is the body language, 38% is voice, and then 7 is words. So as you can tell, body language and the way you present yourself, whether it be in a presentation or just talking to someone in a different culture, anything like that, body language and nonverbal communications and social cues are the most important.
All right, this is Caden. And as Tessa just mentioned, how important body language is. A good example of this would be reaching for a water bottle, because that can represent that we want to refill our cup. And this is similar to our daily interactions with others, as our body posture and movements can show cues of whether we are wanting to help with something or if we are doing it on our own. Gazing is also an important social cue. In most social interactions, our eyes can help others to see the direction of our attention, as well as our emotional and mental state. And as Kyle mentioned earlier, with the language barrier in Taiwan, I can attest to this with my trip to Poland. A lot of the time you can't communicate through language, so you have to use gazing and other nonverbals to communicate.
All right, this is Paige. We're talking about listening posture, whether that's in class or in an actual conversation. When we're listening to someone speak, either in class or in general, how we sit or stand shows if we're interested and engaged or if we're disinterested and distracted. So like if we're leaning forward in class, that tells the speaker that we are interested with what is being spoken. If we also have an open body posture, that shows interest as well. And what I mean by open body posture is like your arms aren't crossed, you don't have books in front of you, it's just you're open. If we have a closed body posture or if we're sitting back in our seats with our hands folded in front of us, that usually tells the speaker that we have lost interest. In conclusion, we believe nonverbal training would be beneficial because it breaks barriers within different cultures. Training in it takes very little time compared to learning a new language. Based on personal experience, nonverbal communication is real and definitely different in other cultures. Sources of nonverbal communication, such as facial expressions, may intercede in order to ensure successful communication during social interactions.
All right, so all in all, based on our group's personal experiences and the research we each did on this topic, we do believe that nonverbal communication and behavior training would be very beneficial, especially in the international trips that Cornerstone University takes. Thank you.